decided to do a little video, it'll be pretty quick, of the long-term ownership of a 1200 RS. I know there's lots of videos out there, and honestly, I haven't really found one that gives the same opinions that I've got. So, I'm going to be honest, I'll be frank, we're not paid by anyone, we just do this for a bit of a laugh, so you are going to get real opinions. I mean, most people say they're amazing, they're like a sports bike or flat bars. I couldn't disagree more, really, to be honest with you. Look, the main things people want to know is it reliable? Is it comfortable to live with? Is it fast? That's about it, really. That's all I want to know. I'm not really too bothered about anything else. So we'll get to it. Let's start with the reliability. If I'm honest, it's not been great. I've had multiple issues with this bike. I've owned it now for just short of 11,000 miles. Still under warranty until January, and I've used that warranty now, I'm going to say 3 or 4 times. So start with the brakes, start with the indicators, fogged up, so they changed those, and then it went in for a service and it came out and the ABS pump packed up when I was out for a ride. They told me it was an airlock, which I found hard to believe. Either way, I lost all brakes and nearly hit a Range Rover. And then it came out and the gearbox went. So second and third gear, the guys at Triumph actually had the cheek to tell me to stop wheeling it, because that's why the gearbox went. And at the time, I think the bike had only done about 3,000 miles on it. So I presume the gears are made of chocolate. And anyway, it wasn't very helpful. I ended up going from a local dealer up in York down to Lincoln to do the job. They told me it was going to be 3 months, and then the long and short of it is, I sort of held the courtesy bike which they had hostage and said I ain't bringing it back until my bike's done, which got it done in 2 weeks. Touch wood. Oh, and then actually one of the indicators has just rattled and snapped, which I've gaffer taped on because it won't be covered under warranty. Oh, you get this issue with every one of them. I don't know if you can see that. The clutch perch is absolutely shite. Let me think, what else have we got? Oh, it leaks oil when you wheelie it over sort of 12 really high up wheelies. The oil just starts pissing out of the clutch at the top where the spring is going in, where the basket's located. Other than that, you know, I know it sounds like quite a lot of issues, but I have owned this bike 2.5 years, and it's not had the easiest of lives. So we've got that bad bit out of the way. Now let's go on to what it's like to live with. Now, I have got multiple bikes, so I don't use this for everything. And as we are the bionic bikers, my body's absolutely shafted from bike accidents, so I don't ride as much as I used to be honest, just full stop. But in the mileage I've done, and the reason I own this bike is it is comfortable. I know the seat's a little bit hard, and that's what most people say in the reviews, but I've been up to Holland on this. I've been, you know, you can do a really good stint riding bikes with your mates, and you can ride all lads on adventure bikes. The tank range isn't great, but again, if you're taking it steady, you'll get 125 miles from a tank. So you can do decent miles on it, and it's got cruise control and all the gizmos if that's what you like to use, the traction control, but it's not really something. The only thing I do utilise is the cruise control, which is a godsend really. So yeah, you can do plenty of miles on it. Brakes are phenomenal. It handles okay. Now I've had it's set in the comfort mode, so it's had everything wound a little bit softer, because when it comes out the box it is a bit hard, but even in the comfort mode, all hard mode, it I think it depends on what you weigh from what the other ones I've ridden, because they're all very similar. It didn't make that much difference, but I did it all for peace of mind, to at least make the effort. Now, on the road, it depends how you ride. I mean, when I ride a little bit faster, it does kick back a little, and I've had a few little tank slappers on it, nothing absolutely mental, but enough to know maybe the back shock is a little bit soft, but it's a good compromise on the mileage that I do. And the use I use it for, like, I don't go on track, it's just far too loud, so I've got something else what we're going to modify and we're going to put on the channel, the Gixxer, GS6R, K5, what I use for track. It's currently in the middle of getting prepped for our next track night. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, day to day it's great. You can get better bikes for touring, better bikes for having a scratch about, and you can actually get better sit-up bikes. I mean, the 210 V4, way better bike, just all round really, which I had just before this. Oh dear, that's some shocking driving. And then I've had a long list of bikes, but the ones that are comparable to this, I mean, I've ridden quite a lot of KTM 1290s. They're a load more grunt down at the bottom, but at the top, the weave, at the top speed, the weave quite a lot, which I don't like. They're too tall. So now this is, for me, was a good compromise. The price point, the downside of it is, when you buy one of these, the price point is they're very expensive to buy when they're new, but the second-hand market, these just do not hold the money at all. I've got no idea why, but I've lost a substantial amount on this bike while holding it, so I'll probably just keep it until it's ready for the scrapyard, and hopefully that's after 100,000 miles, not that I've chucked out the scenery. So yeah, I mean, just a few pointers really in what I've done with the bike. I put some carbon bits and pieces on. I changed the brake pads, so now I'm running the SBS sintered, which I just prefer the feel. I don't think they're any better or worse than the Brembo that come in it. I've always liked the feel for them. And then I put some slightly oversized tyres on, so it's got a 255 in it, similar to the 210 I had, and that just gives you a little bit more lean angle, and when you can't really get off the bike like I do, you've got a little bit more on the bars, so you can push a little bit more and get the bike a little bit lent over. Now it's a bit more of a risk when you're riding on the road, but I don't want to run out of tyre in a corner and tuck the front or the back. It's easily done, let's be honest. So yeah, I haven't really done a lot in regards to that. But the big thing is, would I recommend it to someone to buy? It depends on your budget. I think for the money you're getting a lot of bike, it's not that fast, but I suppose a lot of people are looking at these are similar to me, middle-aged men. They just want a bit of fun. So if you want an out and out, some of the absolute rips, you want to go for the KTM or the Aprilia. If you want something a little bit steadier and a little bit comfier, go for the GS6S. This is just middle of the road. I know it's got the fancy suspension and all that, but honestly, the bike itself, I had a 1050 speed triple, and it was almost identical in every way. The way it felt, the way it sounded, the way that when you're in a bend and you let the throttle off as you're in and you're carrying your corner speed, the whole bike sags and the belly pad practically touches the floor. This does all the same traits as an L-Speedy, and if you like an L-Speedy, then yeah, and you got a bit more money, why not get one of these? One thing to mention, what I did forget about rideability, the clocks are absolutely shite. They're dim-witted, sometimes they crash, you can't get the sat-nav to work. I've done it once and it was the time I went to Holland, and it was the only time I really needed it, which was lucky. Other than that, I've given up with the thing. I've had it updated as well, didn't seem to do anything, so just a little pointer. If you want to use it day to day and you don't really want to draw attention, don't buy a race fit, because this exhaust, as you'll hear when we have a bit of a country road run, it's just too fucking loud. The thing is ridiculous, but only in a really close proximity. It doesn't seem to travel too far, but it still does your head in on long journeys. I think that's all it really. We'll show you some bends. I'll have a bit of a think on if there's anything I've missed. I don't want to get into a big massive waffle because a lot of this stuff is all down to experience and what you want out of a bike. I just don't like the fact that a lot of these big media outlets stick it on a track and tell you it's the best thing and it's like a sports bike with straight bars and this and that, and it's just not. It's like a bike you can go to shop on where you've just slightly put some better suspension on and you can just stick a bit of corner speed at it, but that's about it. It's no different to any other speedy apart from it's got a bit more poke. And I know the figures show that it's got really high horsepower, but honestly I don't think it feels like it'll pull the skin off a rice pudding. The Tuono is way faster. In fact, I think the Tuono from actual speed and not just the torque is easily the fastest sit-up bike. The only one I haven't ridden is the V4 Street Fighter, so I can't comment on that. But that's what I'm debating, sticking on the shopping list. But I keep changing my mind, so yeah, watch your space on that one. I ain't decided yet. Either way, the Triumph will be going, so I don't want to say I ain't going to show you my reg, because if you turn up to buy it and you see all the issue I've just listed, maybe you won't part with your cash. Anyway, let's show you some bends. On this, pins and needles quite a lot. I need to get that on a sports bike, but I think to get it on this as well. It's not opening up too much on the straight, so let's have a little bit of a chat. So yeah, I mean, like I say, it does depend what you want from a bike. I suppose if you're watching this video, you are looking for a speed triple 1200 RS. I'd just say test ride as many as you can. If you're not in that position, you just want a good bike to do everything on really. It's going to come out a couple of times a week for a bit of a scratch about, but you want to be able to take it on a track with a quieter exhaust. Then, you know, it's not a bad choice of bike. I mean, everyone who always asks me, should I get one, I've said no. Which that speaks for itself, I suppose. One thing I've noticed is I do seem to go for a lot of tyres on this thing. I go for as many fronts as I do backs, and it's not really on the floor that often, so I don't quite know why. I seem to be doing the front one month, the back the following month, and the backing on the sides, it's all in the middle. So obviously wheelies doesn't do them any favours, but still, that's not ideal. Was close. So keep an eye out on this corner, there's usually chickens in the road. Oh yeah, they are, little fuckers. Eating anything today. A pheasant last year and it was one of the worst things I'd ever done on a bike. Felt like I crashed into a bag of sand. I'm looking at my speedo. Absolutely pointless. So yeah, I mean, let's be honest, most people are going to watch this like I did and think I'm talking a load of rubbish regardless and think, well, I like it, I'm going to go buy one. And you know what? I don't think you'd be too disappointed. Most people in the UK, let me say, get motorcycles and they barely really ride them. It's more of a social thing, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's great. That's one of the main reasons I've got a bike, is so I can go be social, meet friends. They don't really know a great deal about bikes enough to tell you that it doesn't handle well or this and that. So I suppose it sort of makes this video redundant. It's just me waffling. You want to have a look at a bit of riding and flick through. So I'm going to keep it short and sweet. We might leave some of these bits edited in here and there. I don't really know how we're going to get this done, but it was just an idea. Hopefully it's been slightly helpful. But if you do actually want real info, just drop us a message or go on the Insta page, bionic_bikers_YouTube. Drop me a line and I'll answer any questions on any of the bikes that I've got. I've got this, a GSX-R1000, a couple of DRZs and a GPZ 900R. So if you want any info on any of those bikes, or you just want to send me a picture of your bike, look, me and the lads will all come back to you. We're just bikers and we just want to have a laugh, but want to build a community of bikers. And hopefully we'll get to meet you all on some other rides. We're in Hornsey bike night, middle of August. We've shared that on our Insta page. If you want to come and meet us and have a bit of a chat, then you're more than welcome. Right, Bionic Biker out.